Ja, einen wunderschönen guten Tag, og hjertelig velkommen til alle dere som sitter og ser på. I dag så er jeg ikke alene. Jeg har med meg en av de tre gründere fra Vortex Power fra Sveits, Matthias Mend, og vi kommer til å gjøre dette intervjuet på engelsk. Og så starter vi. Hello, Matthias, and welcome, and thank you for being on. How are you?
Hello, Irena. I'm really happy to be virtual in Norway now.
Yeah, right. How's the weather in Switzerland? Do you have snow or?
No, we have this year we have really less snow.
Okay.
Only a few days on our side of the lake.
Okay.
On the other side, there's still a little bit over 800 meters. But it's a very dry and it's a very warm winter still today.
It's not that much snow here either, so. Okay, snow. Well, this is a good word, snow and water. So let us talk about water today. But maybe before we go into the water, maybe you could tell a little bit about yourself. How did you come over the water and the Vortex Power?
As you can see, there's gone some years in my life, and I came in contact with water very early because my grandfather, an engineer by Siemens, he was very focused on nature. And when I get born in a part of Stuttgart, and there are 18 springs there, so there are two famous pools or swimming halls where you can go very traditional swimming. So that is more kind of treatment than a sport swimming pool. And so when I was really young, I start trying different types of water and recognize that water can taste totally different. Most of the people think water is water, but in these days I can understand that water isn't the same on each place. So over the years, this was always in my mind. I never drank water with carbon CO2. So this sparkling water was for me quite new. When I was 17, I got the first bottle after a bicycle race. It was my first bicycle race. And I was really astonished how my body reacts because all the water comes out of me because I was not used to drinking sparkling water. And in the beginning of my 30s, I was invited after a friend of mine in Munich, I lived in these days in Munich, a friend of mine gave me a book. And this book, probably you know it from Feridun Bakmangelic, You Are Not Sick, You Are Thirsty. This book changed everything in my attitude in eating and drinking, because I recognize that I've done a lot of mistakes over my life. And so I get really interested in this point. And then I get invited to a big conference in Munich from an American water treatment company. And this water treatment company in these days, they sell filters. They produce and sell filters. And so they're looking for some people who are experienced in marketing and distribution. And in these days, that was one of my favorite thing to do. And so I worked together with this company 5 years and learned so much about production, about different materials, and of course, about reactions of customers from this theme, water. But in the end, I recognized that plastic and filter and water is not a quite good combination because plastic and water is like cat and dog. They don't work really well together. And so in 2008, a company, I must say, before 2005, I learned Alexander Glass. You know Alexander Glass, it's our engineer. And he was in contact from 2005 to 2010. And from time to time, he gave me some stories about the products he has developed, and the company he worked together with in Munich. And in 2008, a few days before Christmas, the owner of this company called me and asked me, hey, we have some serious problems with distribution. And Alexander has told me you have experience with water and products. And so we come together, and after a while, I got the distribution rights for Switzerland. And after a while, we sold more products in Switzerland than he sold all over the world. And so we got some serious challenges to get enough products to Switzerland. Mm-hmm. And this brought me to the idea, how would it be to create a better product? Because his products had some serious challenges with material, with oxidation, and all of. So we start thinking about doing our own product. And I asked Alexander if he's interested on a foundation of a new company to create a new product. In 2010, we make the decision, and since 2011, I'm now also a producer of a product beside my, I'm working in coaching and teaching people out of the nutrition area how water can support you in healing processes, in sports careers. There are so many people, they don't drink the right things, and they don't drink enough. And so they get different diseases. And so I support them and work as a coach and partner for companies to give the employers some tips how they can get a better health, better concentration, more creativity, all this stuff.
Yeah, this is the same for me. I have when I'm talking to people and I'm telling it or asking how much water do you drink a day? Well, maybe a glass or 2 glasses. And then I tell them, of course, that's not enough. And of course, the wrong water. Most of the people like to buy plastic bottles, And but then I often get this question, but can it be that easy to just drink water and the right water? Is it so easy? So it is, isn't it? Can you tell us a bit more about the water and how important water and the right water is for our health?
Yes, the interesting thing is that water is a phenomenon from all the reactions in chemical, physical, and biological ways. So it makes a lot of things nobody understands. Even the scientists get crazy about. And so when I start reading books and talk to scientists about water, I always get this feeling they feel not so safe with all these things, because in many cases water reacts different than every other fluid. And the biggest breakthrough was for me a talk to a biochemist, and it must be 2010, 2011. And he explained me, I get a big backbone problem. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Over years, I have always back pain. And then he explained me how this combination from bones and these parts between the bones, I don't know the English word exactly. In German, it's Bandscheibe. And this part is filled with water. And he explained me how important it is that the water is maximum fluid, that it is not a big clustered water. So it is a very fine, smooth water, so that it goes through the cells in and out.
Yes.
And in these days, I was not used to drink this kind of water because I don't know that it exists. I know that water can taste differently, but this is more or less a chemical thing. But that it could react on the physical side differently, that was for me in these days brand new. So I start my own science to get behind these secrets of water. And there's a few people, well-known people in the scenery of science, like Dr. Gerald Pollack, for example, who wrote a very interesting book about the fourth phase about water. And there are, there are here in the university in Zurich, there are also some scientists. They work on different sites with water. And so I recognize that the most important thing, if you want to get the full power of water, is you have to have a water that is like in the nature, the water in the mountain creeks or out of a spring. When the water is really natural, there is no technical or any chemical power on it. It is free of everything, and it comes directly out of the earth. Then it is like virgin water. You can say it like this.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
And then I recognize that the water what we buy in bottles or what comes out of a tap has nothing to do with this kind of water. It is a totally manipulated or changed water. It is under pressure. It has no light. It has very less oxygen. The structure of the water, if you freeze it, is totally different than the water from a spring or from a mountain creek. And so you can recognize that this water is no more healthy. It is like we say dead water. It costs my body energy to use it. And the other water brings my body energy and helps me for all processes in my body.
Yeah, right. This is the new thing I think for most of the people. It was for me as well when I started with the Vortex Power and became a member or partner of you. I had to learn about these so-called clusters, and this I think is really new to the people. So, and this what you were describing now, that because this water has huge inner surface, isn't it? And due to the inner surface, so that's the reason why the water can reach down to the cells, and so
one of the important points is water. You need water to transport all the nutritions into the cells and all the bad things out of your body.
Yes.
And if the water has more ability to get in contact with stuff and fix it and bring it from one point to the other point, then it is a better water.
Yes.
And if it is closed and it is like a bus. If all seats are
occupied,
full, there's no more space for new people. And so it is the same thing with water.
Yes.
And one thing that what most of the people really misunderstand, if they buy a spring water in a plastic bottle, there is no more spring in the water.
No, of course not.
This is the awful thing is that parts of the plastic get into the water. So you drink water that is
with plastic particles inside the water.
And sometimes you can taste it.
Yeah.
If it's warm, you can taste it.
Yeah, right. And you mentioned the so-called bad things, and people or customers often ask me, yeah, but what about these so-called bad things? So we just get rid of them, don't we? So what does this vortex power do with all these things? And what does the vortex power do with the minerals? Because there are many people complaining about, oh, I have too much, what is it, calcium?
Lime.
Yeah, lime, yes, yeah. So can you tell a bit about these things? What does the vortex power
Yes.
do?
Yes. I wrote a lot of articles about that, because here in Switzerland or in Germany, we have absolutely the same discussions, because people see the water in a chemical way. And what they forget is that these around 80 natural elements, we have these elements since 13 billion years. So these atoms are very old. And they are all over the world. So that is also a part of us.
Yeah.
We are also these elements. And our body has absolutely no problem with these natural elements. Our body has also only problems if the elements are in molecules, in chemical, man-made molecules, not natural stuff. So when the water with all this, maybe most of the people are afraid about things in water they don't have, because they read in the newspaper that something is in the water in town X, and they are very, very afraid about these parts in the water, but they live in a totally different area, and the water there is from other resources, and they have not this problem. Exactly the same in Switzerland.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that when water comes into an vortex, that means this high-speed vortex technology brings the water molecules and all the other molecules in their natural frequency, in their natural way, how they exist in the early Earth. When the Earth there was maybe, I don't know, I haven't been there on the Earth, but the model is that the Earth comes in an explosion. Some people say the Earth is stardust.
Yeah.
So we also probably stardust. So when water comes on the Earth, water was always a connection between water and minerals. And most of the people, they buy mineral water because they think in tap water is no minerals. But here in Switzerland, for example, we have areas, there are more minerals in the tap water than in the bottled water.
Yeah, of course.
Only a few bottled water companies have mineral water with so much minerals when people in some areas in Switzerland get out of the tap. But if the minerals are under pressure and they are very long in the water, which is standing in supermarkets or big companies for trading water.
Yeah.
And it's get hot and cold and hot and cold, the minerals start crystallizing. That means the minerals getting, these molecules getting bigger and bigger. And some way they are too big to get in our cells. And then they are disturbing in our system. We feel not very comfortable with that. We need, it is called iron. The mineral has to be in the size of an iron. That is a very small part. And then it goes through the membrane from the cell in and out. So the vortex does nothing different than a creek in a mountain or a spring that means the water comes out with these natural ionized minerals. So your body can use these minerals, because normal, and that is what a lot of people said, they try to sell reverse osmosis systems. They say you cannot use the minerals from the tap water. That is the reason we put them away. But this is the wrong way to look at it. It is because the size is so big that we can use it. When we make the small, then we can use it, and then it is very healthy to drink this water.
Yeah, and you mentioned the high-speed vortex, so I often people ask me, but then I just maybe can only use like a spoon and and just steer around, and of course
this
not.
kind of funny argumentation I have in Switzerland sometimes too. The difference is, if you go to a big waterfall, then you can see that the water gets so fine that it makes clouds. You see fog going away. The way you have to swirl with a spoon your water in a glass to get it this fine that it existing a fog or clouds out of the glass of water is very difficult. And it is hard work. So we use the pressure of the tubes from the water system to build up this speed in a vortex chamber. And this is the technical way how the rivers or the creeks are doing that over kilometers. We can do that over this short piece of metal, because we use three ways in the vortex chamber. There come from three sides the water in, and it is like steam. That the water get as fine as steam. So this is like cooking water without temperature, what we do in the vortex chamber.
Yeah, cooking water. Yes, this is people telling me when I'm last week, I think it was a customer told me, but every morning I just cook the water. And I've heard this would be a nice way to get healthy water inside my body. But then
the Ayurveda, this Ayurveda thing that get more and more famous, because it's a very old culture, Ayurvedic or traditional Chinese medicine, but needs a lot of energy. And if you cook your water 10 minutes to get it in the right molecule form, then you have to wait till you can drink it, because it is cooking water is you cannot drink, and you need a lot of time and you need a lot of energy. And so the more intelligent way is to do it like the nature does it in Greeks, because they do it without temperature. The interesting thing is, this is really difficult to believe, that the temperature after the vortex is deeper than before. Because there's more oxygen in the water, and so the water get in the temperature down, and the solution capacity goes 30% up.
And isn't it when you're cooking the water, then it's like this what Victor Schauberger was talking about, the implosion, explosion. When you're cooking, then it's the explosion energy. There's totally chaos. But with the vortex, it's the opposite. It's the so-called implosion or levitation.
You bring the energy in the water with the implosion, and with the explosion, the water is dead.
Yeah, right. So this is, I think for me, it was a huge to understand this, the difference between implosion and explosion, because we are just using all kinds of explosion today. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So then I think that it might be one of the hottest questions I get is, why is this so expensive? This little thing, oh my God, is it maybe from China? Do I sell it here and just make a lot of money? So
yeah. Even as a producer with the production company a few kilometers away from my home, even as a producer, I have to answer this question many times, especially from people they are producing products by themselves in China, and they ask me, so because they are used that now everything is getting produced in China. And
yes.
if it's not produced from China, it's in India or Pakistan or wherever. We are used in that. And we forgot that our European industry culture a few centuries before was the number one place for producing high-tech products. Nowadays, there's only a few companies left they produce in Europe.
Yeah.
And we are one of them.
Yeah.
And we are doing that from the first day without any interest to do it in Asia. And there's one big reason. We need the control of the whole way from the metal to the fixed piece, because you can do so many mistakes between, and it is so difficult to find experienced people in metal, building metal products in other countries. We in Switzerland, we are very, very famous for that, because probably you know that we have this famous clock industry, and all these watches are still produced in Switzerland. Yeah. And this is a really high level way of producing products. You cannot do that easy. A mechanical watch is so difficult. This is the people they do this job, they have to go like to a university. This is not only a easy job, and it is not possible to do that. Robots can do that. There are still people sitting on tables and building these clocks together. So we have high educated people working with that, and high educated people cost money. Yes. Of course, we have here different salaries than in China, and we have another attitude to the people. We saw now all these discussions about China from the Olympic Games, and so I don't know why we should produce there if we have the possibility to do it here.
Yeah, of
And
course.
there's so much more. In a special way, I understand the customer, but on another way, I must ask, do we talk about prices or do we talk about worth? Because if people are intelligent, they understand over the lifetime, and you buy a product, our products you buy only once in a lifetime. Probably the onlyest product you ever bought, and can use it over your whole life. Because all the other products, they have a clock inside, and after 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, the product is finished, and you have to rebuy it. You have to buy a new one, because the company says, oh no, that is not worth to repair, throw it away and buy a new one. We know that from telephones, we know that from computers, we know that from cars. So if you count together what you buy for drinking over your lifetime, I promise you, you will save enormous money if you buy a spring. All the people, I know people, they pay per month more than 200 euros or Swiss francs for buying water, buying lemonades, buying all this stuff.
Yeah.
So in one year, they have 2,400 euros or Swiss francs. They bought strings. So then the spring is very cheap. And in companies, we have big companies, they bought 90 springs for all taps in the company. Yeah.
Okay.
They save 250,000 euros or Swiss francs a year. And they use it now since 10 years. That is 2.5 millions they saved.
Yeah.
So, and they invested once 37,000.
And the
So
health.
if somebody says the spring is so expensive,
Yeah.
I always answer, you don't understand what you pay for your drinks a lifetime.
Yeah, and you can take it with you wherever you travel, wherever you go. You told me once that you have been all over the world, and you take this little friend with you all the time. Is it right?
Since 12 years, me and my family and my dog traveling worldwide. I've been on 3 continents and 24, 25 countries. I don't know exactly anymore because the last 2 years I haven't been out of Switzerland.
Yeah.
Just I think 2 times or 3 times in Germany, because I'm born in Germany, so I still can get in and out without complications.
Yes.
But so in the end, it is worth to think about, because it is also a very, very high price we pay over the time for all this plastic garbage in the seas, in the woods, in the grass.
Everywhere.
It is disgusting when I go out with my dog, or when I go sailing, all these bottles on the water. It is disgusting.
Yes, it's in addition to get you in better health and better shape. So it is question about environment as well, right? Because you just you never go and buy any plastic bottle anymore. So
no, and I always say to the people, you cannot live a healthy life on a sick planet. And we made this planet really sick. And we have now more plastic in the seas than fish. And this is really awful. And I think we have to start to be more looking in the future, thinking about our kids, thinking about our grandchildren, and be more responsible for what we are consuming. And drinking water out of the tap is so much reduce of consuming. You need that water for much more. You need it for flowers, you need it for your plants, you need it for your animals. You can use it for so many different things. For cooking. A lot of people tell me coffee and tea is tasting much better with this water than with the normal tap water. And the interesting thing is you save tea and coffee because you need not so much powder than if you use the Vortex water than you normally need for the tap water, because the solution capacity is bigger. So taste, color, and aroma is much better with this water than with the normal water.
Yeah, that's what I'm experienced when I do baking bread and you know, all this cakes, and this is right. So you need more of the flour and sugar and everything. So it's just amazing. And of course I see it very good when I do the dishes, you know, and because water, you never would do your dishes in coffee water or something like that, you know. It's just nobody would do this. So, well, this is a huge topic, water. So we just touched a bit on it. I think maybe we can do this again, and maybe some customers will get to me with some questions, and then sometime we can do it again, and maybe you will get here to Norway someday. I've heard something.
I planned this year.
So,
If everything is possible,
yeah,
I will
so,
do that. Yes.
yes. So I thank you so
And
much. Yeah.
maybe you can plan to translate my new book, Water, the Super Element, for Norwegian, for Norwegian.
Yeah, I will see. First, I just travel around and do lectures. So this is so fun to be with you, to be a part of Vortex Power, because it's really it is where my heart is. So,
and it's a pleasure to work with you, because you have done so much in Norway, just on your own way, because each country has its own challenges, and you have to translate everything, and I'm really happy to work together with you.
Yeah, I've learned so much from you and from Alexander, of course. I may have Alexander on as well. So I thank you so much, Matthias, for your time, for being on, and I know you have to hurry on, me as well. So then all the best for you, and maybe
all the best for you, Irina, and thank you for this nice talk.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.